Today, we will be discussing the causes of the failures in the Red River Delta Offensive of 1951. After Vietnam's success in the northern borders, they decided to address the strongholds of the French in two places, that is, the Saigon and the Red River Delta. It was beyond their means to address both of them, so they started going for the Red River Delta. For that, Giap launched offensives in Vinh Yen area on 13 January 1951, then in the area of Mao Khe on 23rd March 1951, and along the Day River on 29th May 1951. These places are shown on the slide. Vinh Yen first, Mao Khe, and then along the Red River. There were tremendous losses of life of the Vietnam, and all these things were a failure. So, we will discuss the causes of these failures in the next few slides. First is the ambitious objectives. Giap aimed to achieve a decisive victory against the French forces in the Red River Delta, a strategically vital region in the North Vietnam. However, this ambitious objective was difficult to achieve given the limitations of the Vietnamese forces compared to the well fortified French positions. Frontal attacks. Giap went in for the frontal conventional attacks, which was against the tenets given by Sun Tzu and Mao. Giap failed to read the minds of the enemy. If Giap had waited for some time, the French would have certainly, because of their offensive mentality, would have come out of their federalist mentality and addressed them on the ground outside their fortress. And that is the time they could have addressed the French on the ground of their own choosing. Later on, in the area of Hau Bin, when the enemy came out and occupied the position of Hau Bin, the Vietmin was smart enough to attack their lines of communication and as a result made them recoil. Underestimation of the French defenses. The Jap underestimated the strength and preparedness of French defenses in the Red River Delta. The French had established strong defensive positions, utilizing fortified posts, blockhouses, and extensive network of fortification that made it difficult for the Vietmen to achieve a breakthrough. Guerrilla tactics versus the conventional warfare. The Vietmen traditionally were adept at guerrilla warfare. They faced difficulty transitioning to more conventional large scale engagements required in the Red River Delta. The French forces were more experienced and better equipped for conventional warfare, putting the Vietmen at a disadvantage. Effective French intelligence. The French forces had superior intelligence capabilities, which allowed them to anticipate Vietmin movements and prepare countermeasures effectively. They were able to know the buildup of offense for the offensive with Vinh Yen. This intelligence advantage undermined the Japs' plans and contributed to the failure of Vietmin's offensives. Here, a bit of propaganda warfare also we can blame. Before the launch of offensive, the Vietmin had already announced that by date, Ho Chi Minh will be in the area of Hanoi. So that also made the French to prepare for their defenses properly. Then the limited Whitman intelligence. Conversely, the Whitman's intelligence were not able to know the strengthening of the French defenses. The post arrival of the General de Lattre and all, the morale of the French forces was higher. And the General de Lattre also had made the French troops to redo their defenses. Supply lines. Maintaining supply lines in the densely populated and contested Red River Delta proved challenging for Giap. The supply chain was basically foot paced. Thus, it became difficult to cope up with the switching of forces. The Vietmin logistically were stretched thin, and this impacted their ability to sustain prolonged offensive against the French. Terrain and geography. The geography of the Red River Delta, characterized by the rivers, canals, and marshes, presented significant logistical challenges to the Vietmin. Moving troops and supplies through the terrain was difficult, further hampering their operational capabilities. While the French could use their air power, mobility, and artillery to great effect, especially during the season prevailing in the early part of the year. Superior French firepower. The French forces had access to superior firepower, including artillery, armored vehicles, and the air support. The technological advantage played a role in repelling Vietmin attacks and inflicting heavy casualties on them. US support for French forces. The French forces received substantial support from the United States, including military aid and supplies. This external support bolstered the French military capabilities and contributed to the difficulties faced by the Giap and the Vietmin in the Red River Delta. To conclude, we will say General Giap's failure in Red River Delta was primarily due to the strategic overextension, tactical missteps, logistical difficulties, superior French intelligence and firepower, and effective external support for the French forces. These factors collectively undermined the Vietmin's efforts to secure a decisive victory in the region. Thank you.